wanted to take a few minutes to talk a little bit more about Rendsora here, the oversized version of the Last Night Voyager Megatron. Specifically, I wanted to talk about the upgrade parts that are available for this guy that fill in the gaps on his back. I finally got around to getting those, and they came today, and I started installing them, and I figured I should do a quick little video on it, so that's what we're doing. Now, one of the things I did not mention about Rendsora in my initial video was the fact that the gappiness on his back did kind of bother me, but at the same time, it wasn't that big a deal because, I mean, it's his back. It's not something that you see regularly when displaying the figure, so who cares, right? Really. And I mean, that problem was prevalent in the Voyager as well, so it's not just Rendsora. But now there are these parts that are available, and there will be a link down below so you can see where to get them. I just got mine off TF Direct. The parts themselves are free, but you do have to pay for shipping unless you can get the order up over a certain amount, and then it'll be free shipping across the board. Anyway, I have gone ahead and installed half the parts on him, so I can kind of go over that with all of you. You can see on his back here, he's got the parts installed here and not here. So here you can kind of see gaps there, and on this back heel here. It's filled in here, here, and here. And it's not a huge difference, but it definitely helps to fill in those back pieces. It's one of those things where without the upgrades, this is immediately noticeable when you're looking at his back. With the upgrades, it doesn't stand out at all, so you don't even realize they're there. So they don't really make a huge difference in the fact that they don't really enhance the look of the figure, but they make a difference in the fact that you no longer have your eye immediately drawn to these massive chasms in his back. So just to go over the parts themselves real quick, there are 6 in total, 2 for here, 2 for here, and 2 for the backs of the heels, and they come in just a little baggy thing. I ordered mine with another figure, and the parts were actually tossed inside that figure's box. I don't know necessarily how these would be delivered if you ordered just these parts on their own, but that's how they came to me. And you can see just like a little bit more detail here. There's just some nice little molded bits and sort of fake layered armor and stuff like that. It's nothing big in terms of the detail, but again, it just helps to kind of make you not realize those gaps are a problem. So you can kind of see like the contrast of how it looks without. Now to actually install these parts is very simple, but the reason I wanted to keep everything separate and also do some installation on camera is to both show the differences and also show you how you figure out what side everything goes on. Basically, you just want to look at the shape of the piece and see how it lines up with the figure. So for these back pieces here, you actually want these kind of swept up, these little swept up bits at the top with that curve on the inside because it goes right around here. And you can see how that will fit right in there. And there are just a couple of clip things there that will clip onto the kibble on the back there. So you just line it up and push it in, and that's it. Now he's got a filled in back. Now these pieces are a little bit trickier to figure out the alignment because you've got a longer side here and a shorter side here. But the way I was able to kind of get a feel for it is only one side of the piece has this kind of notch cut in it. So you want that notch on the bottom and facing in, because that goes around this little bit here that's part of this sloped bit of plastic. So again, you just line it up and push it in, push it in, push it in, push it in. There we go. And yeah, there you can see it just kind of, that gap goes around that bit of plastic there. Now for this piece, the way you can tell which ankle, push that down, The way you can tell which orientation, which ankle this goes behind, this flat bit right here is on the top. And this sloped bit here points out. And that lines up with this gap spot right here. And this, again, you got the little posts there, little things there. This one's a little harder to line up. What you want to... get that on camera. What I find helps is knowing that this bit actually rests just on the inside of this piece here. So that kind of helps with lining it up. And then just push it in, and voila! Now we have Rendsora with all of his bits installed, and that definitely looks a lot cleaner. It's not a huge change, like I said, because it just fills in some gaps, but I do like how once these pieces are all installed, it's not distracting anymore with all those gaps. Once you've got the pieces installed and he's back on the shelf, it doesn't look any different because it's all in the back. So whether or not those pieces are worth it to you really just depends on your personal preference. For me, it was just a matter of I was getting something else and I figured why not add them to the cart. I mean, the price is right, and it is nice knowing that they're not, that like those gaps aren't in the back there. But again, it's just, I don't look at his back that often, so it's not a huge deal. Let's take a look at him in his alt mode real quick, just so we can see how those parts work when he's a jet. Alright, here we have the Cybertronian jet mode, and most of these parts you don't even notice because the two back pieces are on the inside of this, so like you can kind of sort of see them if you angle this just right and get the light in there, but there's really nothing to see there. The only parts that you can really see in jet mode are the ankle bits, which are right here. Which, yeah, it's like, they're just right there. You don't even notice them. Clearly this is not meant for the, they're not meant for the jet mode's benefits. But they do tuck away. They don't interrupt the transformation or anything like that. Everything fits just fine. So there's no problems there. So after that completely unnecessary jaunt through vehicle mode, got him back in his robot mode, and yeah, just the parts are nice. They match the plastic pretty darn well. They don't look out of place. They clean up the back nicely, but they're also not essential. Like they don't really, all they do is fill in gaps that you're only really going to notice if you're looking at his back. So whether or not that's important to you, that is your call. But I will say the detailing does mesh very nicely with the underside of that cockpit there. Let's bring him in close for that real quick. And see, yeah, that blends together very nicely. Anyway, that's going to do it. So that's it for the back upgrade parts for Wei Jiang's Rendsora. Whether or not it's worth ordering, whether or not it's worth the cost, if there is a cost, depending on how much you end up ordering from TF Direct, it's your call to make. I'm glad I got them, but I probably wouldn't get them just as a standalone thing. I basically just got them because I already had something coming to me. I mean, I'm not disappointed. They work. They do what it says on the tin, metaphorically speaking, because they don't actually come in a tin, but you know what I mean. Anyway, that's going to do it. So thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob, and I will see you the next time something needs fixing.